Neighbor Hilti has prepared a fine feast for us. But he sure worked us for it, ja? Now, lasset uns ein Loblied singen dem Herrgott für die Fülle der Ernte. Mit Lust so will ich singen, mein Herz freut sich in Gott, der mir viel Kunst tut bringen, dass ich entrinne dem Tod, der ewiglich nimmet kein End. Ich preis dich, Christ im Himmel.
So what do you think?
You've done wonders with them, Susan.
Well, I had a good teacher.
Well, when they're ready for preserving, let me know, and I'll come over and show you how I do it.
Hi.
Hi. Have you ever had homemade preserves from your very own garden?
Listen, you're talking to a Chicago street kid.
Spare us. His father is a minister in the wealthiest part of the city.
Well, don't worry, I won't tell anybody.
Thanks for coming.
Susan, I had a great time.
You had so much fun.
Get that laugh.
Bye, guys.
I'm gonna bring those papers by your office on Monday, okay? All right. See you guys.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Don't forget now, Saturday's our place.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Have you ever seen anything so lovely?
Beautiful.
What'd you have in mind?
Mom, when's dinner? Can I hold Esther for you, please? Only till you're in.
Rachel, I'm out.
Road. Nearly to home.
Stay down, children. Get down.
Stay down.
What happened?
Are you all right? Did they hit you? Sierra!
Oh, it's my wrist only. It doesn't hurt yet. See?
Jockstrap!
Peter,
Better I take a look at it.
doesn't look bad on us. Better we go home.
Sit, 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 sit.
Hey, there's another one up ahead! Come on, let's get another one. Yeah, all right!
Sure you're all right, Mama?
Probably needs changing.
Surely does, Mama. Clear through her blanket.
God. Jacob! Jacob! Be still.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Mr. Grant! Mr. Grant! I must use your phone.
What's the matter, Jacob?
Some kids, they threw at the buggy.
Dial 911. That's emergency. Where'd it happen?
The creek road, some kind of old red truck. Hello? I need help, quick. An ambulance. My baby is hurt. Hurt bad. Susie, what are you doing?
Listening to the quiet.
Don't ever say that to anybody else.
But you know what I mean.
No doubt.
Probably for you anyway.
No, I'll meet you out there. Yeah, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes. I gotta get dressed. Uh-huh. Yeah, I know where it is.
Who was it?
Oh, the sheriff. Baby's been killed.
Oh, God. Who?
One of the Amish. Steve's on his way out there. He wants me to come.
For that, don't send anybody else out here. We don't need anybody else, all right?
How many kids? You didn't say how many kids. You sure?
Now, folks, I really need you to go.
Yeah, I know what you mean. He didn't recognize any of the kids?
Tell me if he did.
Hey, Jim.
What happened?
Oh, Mr. Grant's the Schuler's neighbor. He's the one got in touch with us. Mr. Sandler's county prosecutor. Terrible. Just terrible.
Yes, it
His
is.
father ran over to use his phone. Oh, for hell.
Amish don't take with owning phones. Don't keep them from using others.
He told Hector here with some kids in a pickup truck did it. Red, he thinks. We put it out.
I'm surprised I got him to tell me that much. He was real upset.
They were throwing rocks at the buggy. One of them hit the baby. She was dead when the paramedics arrived.
How old was she?
Just 7 months.
Did you talk to the father?
A little. Excuse us, Hector. I thought you'd better be in on this from the beginning. You don't want to make any mistakes.
No, we don't.
Yeah. Well, come on. Jacob. This is Mr. Sandler. He's the county prosecutor.
Mr. Schuler, I am really terribly sorry. Yeah. No. He moves in strange ways sometimes.
Yes, he does. Thing is, we need you to help us. Tell us what happened. Just tell us what you saw.
We were over at the Hillsdy place helping with the crop. Coming home in the buggy when...
There was 2 boys in the back. Throwing.
Rachel.
Sheriff, Charlie Stone says they got him over in Carson.
There, let me handle this. Hell.
Evening, Mr. Woodman. We weren't doing nothing, Sheriff.
So? What's all this? You fixing to start a war, Philip?
You know we weren't
I know
doing
you've done
nothing.
this sort of thing before.
We was just out claping, that's all. We was just trying to have some fun.
Fun?
Yeah.
You killed a kid. That your idea of fun, Bowman? Charlie! Take him back to Fulham. Book him on a 203, suspicion of bodily harm, until the county prosecutor decides what the charge will be. And Charlie! Nobody's to talk to them until I get a chance to get statements. You understand?
Oh, God, no. We didn't mean for nobody to get hurt.
Sorry to bother you, Jacob. We've just been over to Carson. Wanted you to know. Pretty sure they're the ones.
Thank you, Sheriff. Mr. Schuler?
Yeah.
I was wondering, when do you think would be a good time for you and your family to come into Fulham and give me your statement?
We can't do that.
Sir, maybe you don't understand how important it is that we have your evidence.
No business of ours. Not anymore.
It's not your business anymore. A child has been killed. I'm sorry, Mr. Schuler, but I'm afraid I don't understand.
Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord.
Is he serious?
Afraid so. Amish don't hold much laws, other than God.
You know, a murder was committed. These are probably the only witnesses I have, and you're standing here telling me they don't...
Hey, I'm on your side.
What the hell have we gotten into?
How old is the baby?
About the same age as Vicky. Oh, Susie, you had to be there to believe it. I don't think he's going to do anything about it.
Well, give him some time to think about it. It was only a few hours after it happened.
Why, you think it pushed too hard too fast?
You have been known. Let me try. Let me try. So where does that leave you?
Well, it leaves me hoping Steve gets a confession from one of the four who did it. Thank you. I don't know what I'd do without you.
I don't either.
Probably have to walk to work.
Bye.
You, Mr. Sandler?
Yes, sir.
Seemed like to me $10,000 bail is pretty high for criminal recklessness.
It's only a preliminary charge.
Well, there's no way for you to know this. You're not from around here. But any man and boy that says he never has been out of Clayton's a liar. Now, I'm not trying to make excuses for what my boy did. And I'm more than willing to pay the damage. But killing someone? Paul said he didn't do it. And I believe him.
Mr. Baxter? Jim.
Jim,
Sandler.
of course. That's right, I heard you left Chicago. You're practicing here?
County prosecutor.
Huh, good for you.
Which one of the four you down here to represent?
Philip Carr.
Why? Besides the fee.
Because I've had my belly full of innocent people being railroaded on the basis of circumstantial evidence.
No, this would be a lot more than circumstantial.
Eyewitness?
Wait and see.
Only fair to tell you, Jim, but boy's father.
No, Philip Carr's 19. He's not a boy under state law.
The young man's father has instructed me to plead his son not guilty to any charge more than criminal recklessness.
Baxter?
Maybe even to that, too. Yes?
If you would, please. The judge is ready to hear the petition for your client's release on bail.
Thank you so much. Excuse me.
Do you think I ought to get a lawyer for Teddy?
Think you better, Ann.
But
Oh, Teddy signed a statement?
He identified Cooper and cars, the two in the back of the truck. Good. Admitted to most of what went on that night, including throwing at the school, the Amish houses, and the buggies. Only now he's changed what he said first about the Creek Road. Says he doesn't remember they were ever on it.
Oh, come on. No.
His mother's a good lady. Doesn't need this kind of trouble. Stupid kid.
Yeah, well, any chance she'll get him to tell the truth in court?
I don't know. I can talk to her.
Yeah, please do.
I'll do my best. She's probably the only one who
Yeah, listen, I ran into Paul Cooper's father outside. He says everybody, man and boy, harassed the Amish.
He's wrong. It's only 50%.
He made it sound like a rite of passage.
Been that way ever since I can remember, Jim. That doesn't make it right. It's just accepted.
And there's never been one case taken into court?
Well, you have to understand, the Amish don't just read the Bible. They live by it, including turn the other cheek. Not a bad way to live.
Unless you're the only ones who do.
A reporter from the Chicago Tribune called. You want me to get him for you?
No, thank you. As if we didn't have enough trouble on our hands. That Chicago hotshot the car's hired. How good is he?
The best. Law clerks in Chicago give their eye teeth to work for him. I would have. He's already got his defense mapped out. I need a witness, Steve. I need a witness.
I know.
I should have stayed out at the Schuler place that night. I should have followed up with the daughter about what she saw.
What makes you think Jacob would have let you?
So, did you find anything on Creek Road?
I had a crew out there all weekend. Some stones, pieces of clay, tile, nothing with even a trace of blood on it.
Okay. Listen, put out a request for information statewide. Any cases, current or recent, involving the Amish, preferably where one of them was willing to testify.
Okay, only don't count on it.
I'm not. I'm just, I'm looking for anything that might change Jacob's mind.
Decide what the charge is going to be?
Yeah, reckless homicide. What?
I think we got a lot of work ahead of us. I went out clapping myself once when I was 14, 15. Thought you'd want to know.
One case at a time. Where's that word come from? Claping.
Clapes is a derogatory name, some people call it. It goes back so far, I don't think anybody remembers anymore where the word came from.
So, what are you going to do when your boy's old enough to go out claping?
I hope I'll teach him better.
Lasst uns beten. Unser Vater, der du bist im Himmel, dein Name werde geheiligt. Dein Reich komme, dein Wille geschehe auf Erden wie auch im Himmel. Gib uns heute unser tägliches Brot.
No one can say what effect this tragedy, which struck the small Amish community, will have on the attitudes of the larger community in which they live. As for the 4 boys who are alleged to have killed the Amish baby in a night of violence that I am told included 24 other attacks on the Amish, chances are little or nothing will be done to bring them to trial. Among those I spoke
She's
to,
wrong.
The editor of the local newspaper said,
Listen, Jim,
this happens, people get upset.
I was born and raised around here. I know most of the folks involved personally. But I am also a peace officer. I have been all my life.
And you don't have a corner on not liking what happened or why it happened. Okay?
Hey, I'm on your side.
This is a very quiet, peaceful county. The shame is a tragedy like this can happen.
Do you think that's how most people feel?
Of course, most of them.
Well, then how do you explain the violence? It's not as though this is an isolated incident, is it?
We're going to see that it is prosecuted to the full
Jim,
extent
we're ready.
of the law.
Okay.
I hope you're not going to make it sound like we got some kind of crime wave here in Fulham.
Well, I have spoken with some people here in Fulham, and one of them said that they didn't think this would have
Problems?
happened.
No,
The
it'll
boys
work out.
just had something to do on Saturday night.
You don't thrash around in bed all night when you think it's going to work out.
Oh, come on, we're gonna be late.
Hey, I can help you with this.
Okay. Okay. Is the sitter here for Vicky?
Yeah.
Stop hounding those kids unless you want what the Claves get.
Yeah, it's just a crank letter. It's nothing to worry
Jim,
about.
how about letting me put a car out there?
No,
Please,
Susie,
no,
you don't
it's-
worry. No, it's a bad idea. I just thought you should know about it.
All right. You sure now?
Yeah, thanks.
Can I see a minute of Jim?
Stay dry.
What is it, Mr. Ames?
You catch that woman on the TV station in Winston-Salem? Boy, she's going out of her way to make it sound like our favorite sport is terrorizing the Amish.
Well, that's what one of the four said they were doing, terrorizing.
Those people turn up their noses at the way we live. But that doesn't stop them coming in to use our phones, riding in our cars when it suits them.
Homer's waiting for
Now,
us.
you don't know the four boys' families personally, so you can't have an idea how tough all this is on them.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Well, I just hate to see you make trouble for yourself, Jim, by making trouble for others.
I don't think that's what it's really about, do you?
What else? The kids didn't mean any harm. They were just fooling around.
Well, I wonder how you'd feel, Mr. Ames, if some kids were just fooling around and they killed your baby. Not too smart, huh?
Had to be said, maybe not that way.
Well, that's what you get for marrying a Chicago street kid.
Spare me. Let's go.
Hey, they giving you a rough time up there?
It's all your fault, Holmes.
Me?
Yeah, you got me this job, didn't you?
Guilty as charged. Well, I figured getting you appointed to fill out the year as county prosecutor might help. But with you being new in town and all, starting a private practice.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We really do.
Well, yeah, I know you do. I'm not so sure about him. I'll tell you something. Next time around, you're going to have to get yourself elected to the office, and the Amish don't vote.
So what did you do in cases like this?
I never had one. All the years I was prosecuting, never once had an Amish come in and bring charges. Any real damage done was paid in cash or kind. It's the way it's always been. It's the way it's always going to be.
So what's the price on a baby?
Jim?
I know what you're feeling, Jim, and I respect you for it. But take my advice as a friend. You want a place here for you and yours? Don't go trying to change too much too fast.
Whoa, where are you going? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare him. He's about the same age as my son.
Yeah, Peter. No. He just doesn't always like to talk to people.
You sure can't dream, though.
He will get over it.
Why should he?
Boys grow up, Mr. Sandler. They learn that the ways of God are different from games.
Suppose you're right.
We are taught to believe in two kingdoms, one of light and one of darkness, God's and Satan's.
What happens when one invades the other?
Be ye transformed by the renewal of your faith, that you may live in the perfect will of the Lord.
I envy you, Mr. Schuler. Listen, I came out here to let you know what's going to happen. Excuse me, Mrs. Schuler, I'm Jim Sandler.
Yes, I know.
So the 4 men are going to be brought into court next week to be charged, and then sometime later there's going to be a trial. You see, maybe if there had been a trial or two way back, then things wouldn't have gotten to this. You know, the violence wouldn't have kept growing. Oh, that's your oldest, isn't it? Is it Rachel? Hi. Listen, the sheriff and I were wondering...
He's a good man. Yes, he's a good man. We did some carpenter work, helped him put on the new room for the baby.
Well, we were wondering if... Listen, I'd like a chance to talk to Rachel.
What for, Mr. Sandler?
Well, I'm going to need her testimony, and yours when the case is tried.
So that you can put them in jail.
Well, what happens to them isn't up to you and me. It's up to a jury.
Rachel, give this to your brother. And go inside the house with him. But if the boys did it, their parents should tell them to speak the truth.
Unfortunately, that's not the way it works in my kingdom.
That's the way we would do it.
Well, there's still a chance that one of them might. The sheriff's been talking to Teddy Johnson's mother, but we can't count on it.
Rachel has nothing to say to you, Mr. Sandler.
Mr. Schuler, that
she
night...
has nothing to say.
You know, the law is something that we're all responsible to uphold.
When the Philistines spoiled Isaac's well, the Lord said not to seek vengeance, but to dig new wells, and he would find water abundant. I cannot change what I believe, nor can I ask my children to change. For 300 years we have been taught to believe in a higher power than man's. It has been our salvation in an alien world. I'm sorry that you had to come all this way for nothing.
Ain't this Rachel's?
Where did you find it?
Fixing one of the Chevrolet's irrigation gates down the creek yesterday.
She must have lost it.
Or threw it away.
It's hard for Rachel. She loved Esther so.
I know.
The Amish don't want it. The town doesn't.
What do you want, Sue?
I want a good life for us and the kids. I want good friends like Homer who like us and respect us. I want to stay here. I want the kids to grow up here.
It's not going to come to that.
We must go to different churches.
Oh, what? Bill Ames?
And everyone else.
No, Susie, it isn't the whole town.
I hope not.
You know, I was making more money in Chicago.
We spent every penny.
Great apartment. Theater, Wrigley Field, trips.
To get away from the city. Trying to get 2 kids in a stroller on a bus every day to go to the park. And triple locks on the doors. We don't have to lock our door here. That alone means a lot to me. That signifies a lot.
So do you think that what I'm doing is wrong?
No.
Do you think that I'm being obstinate?
No, but did you listen to what Homer
Well,
was
yeah,
saying?
it's not his job anymore. It's mine. I mean, maybe sometimes I wish it wasn't, but I'm not going to kick the case under the carpet because some people don't want to face... Some people, a lot of people, they don't want to face what they've let go on here. You know, I wasn't prepared for it either. A lot of garbage.
I don't think so.
No, I mean that.
Before this honorable court, the preliminary hearing of Roy B. Bowman, Philip S. Carr, Paul A. Cooper, and Theodore B. Johnson. Information for reckless homicide as deposed and sworn to by Sheriff Stephen Woodman of Fulham County.
Now, I want to make clear to you, this is not a trial, this is a preliminary hearing. The order of business for a preliminary hearing is for you 4 boys and your lawyers to hear the charges brought against you by the county prosecutor, as just read by the clerk of court, and to decide what you want to do. Mr. Bowman, how do you plead to the charge entitled Information for Reckless Homicide? Guilty, not guilty, or do you stand mute?
Not guilty.
Mr. Philip Carr?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you wish to have more time to consult with Mr. Baxter before entering your plea?
No, thank you, Your Honor. We plead not guilty.
Mr. Cooper? How do you plead?
Sir? Not guilty.
Mr. Johnson? How do you plead?
What do you think? I talked some more with his mother last night. Yeah.
You do want to plead, don't you?
Your Honor. Not guilty?
I'll consult with prosecution and defense lawyers in my chambers about setting the trial date.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
I respectfully ask that you entertain a motion for dismissal of all charges against my client.
On what grounds, Mr. Baxter?
Insufficient evidence. Nothing that I have seen links my client or the others in any way whatsoever with the death of Esther L. Schuler. Any statements they may have made while in custody are, of course, inadmissible. Besides, who knows how many others were out on the roads that night?
Out claping?
Well, I'm not as familiar with the term as you seem to be, Jim, but I'm told that there's hardly a man in the county who didn't go out claping one time or another when they were kids. Your Honor, about that motion for dismissal.
Motion denied. But you sure have a good line of defense there, Counselor.
Yeah, I'll put Cooper and Carr on trial first. They were the 2 in the back of the truck that actually threw at the Schuler buggy. Allegedly, that is.
Mr. Sandler, are you going to ask for a change of venue because of the feelings?
Absolutely not. I want the trial held here.
Well, does the presence of the famous Richard Baxter in any way change your approach to the case?
Why should it?
That was County Prosecutor Jim Sandler. This is Monica Schaefer reporting for WXII-TV, Winston-Salem.
Hi, Sue.
Hi.
Sorry I'm late. I had to go over stuff with Steve.
I didn't figure there was any sense in waiting.
Glad you didn't.
Did you eat? You want me to make you something?
Kid's okay?
Mm-hmm. When's the trial?
6 weeks. You coming up?
In a minute.
He was one of them in the truck, throwing. Jock straps.
Maybe me. Stop and get some ice cream cones, huh? Easy, easy. Easy.
Is everybody okay?
You okay?
Thank you, Mr. Sandler. It don't change anything.
No, I didn't think it would.
I should never have brought the children into town.
We are here today for the most beautiful ceremony of all, the coming to baptism of these young men and women. It is a solemn as well as beautiful occasion. Having reached the age of choice, you must choose whether or not you accept the rules and orders, the Meidung and Ordnung, whether or not you choose to be baptized in the Amish faith. If among you there are any who choose not to be baptized, please. Auf deinen Glauben, den du bekennt hast vor Gott und diese viele Zeuge, wirst du getauft im Namen des Vaters, des Sohnes, des Heiligen Geistes. Amen.
I read where with the English baptism as soon as you're born.
But I think it's better this way. When you're old enough to decide for yourself to follow the rules and orders of our church.
But what if you die before?
Vor Gott und diese viele Zeuge wirst du getauft im Namen des Vaters, des Sohnes, des Heiligen Geistes. Amen. Im Namen des Herrn, diese Gemeinde wird dir die Hand. Herrn und diese Gemeinde wird dir die Hand geboten, so steht. Im Namen des Herrn und diese Gemeinde wird dir die Hand geboten, so steh auf. Im Namen des Herrn und diese Gemeinde wird dir die Hand geboten, so steh auf. Im Namen des Herrn und diese Gemeinde wird dir die Hand geboten, so steh auf. Jacob is a stubborn man, all right.
So am I.
Well, he...
Did you hear about
Stubborn in the faith. We have a book thicker than any of your law books, the Martyr's Mirror.
Oh, come on, Abe. What's it got to do with what he's asking?
Plenty. All about what happened to us in your world. 300 years
Listen,
ago.
I'm talking about what happened last August. I'm talking about yesterday in town.
You don't think I know that, Mr. Prosecutor?
All Jim wants is for you to talk to the Schulers as their bishop, to get Jacob and Rachel to testify at the trial so he can show what really happened.
I can subpoena them to appear.
Which don't mean that they will. And even if they do, it don't mean they have to say anything. Judge not that ye be not judged.
Be in this world, but not part of it.
Been doing your homework.
Mm-hmm. And nothing I've read about your religion says that it's a sin to cooperate with the law.
Something the books about us may not tell you. One reason we don't hold too much with your law. We don't think we get too much justice from it.
So you'd rather let something like Esther Schuler's death go unpunished? That way you can keep telling yourselves you're martyrs in a hostile world?
You always go around making trouble for people?
Only when it's important.
Ain't nobody gonna sing your praises for it. I'll talk on Jacob. Tell him what you said.
How soon?
Have to wait for the right moment, don't I? Let you know.
What do you think?
He carries a lot of weight.
I hope so.
Steve said he wanted to see me. He said it was urgent.
He's inside waiting for you.
You from the bishop?
Remember asking me to send out an information request about any cases involving the Amish?
Yeah, you got one?
Yeah, over in Drexel County, they picked up 3 kids for throwing at Amish buggies night before last.
Right, all right. The Amish wrote the complaint?
Caught them in the act. They were in a red pickup truck. Same make, same year as Bones.
Oh, no.
The driver admitted it wasn't the first time he'd been out Clapin. He bragged to him how he'd been in Fulham County the night the Amish kid got it. Subject says that on that occasion, he and friends, unnamed, had a buggy with a lot of kids in it on Creek Road.
Okay, let's go talk to him.
Can't.
Why not?
Damn fool parents hustled him out of town, won't tell anybody where he is or when he's coming back. And sure as hell, your friend Baxter's gonna get himself a copy of this before our case goes to trial.
Jacob, I have to talk to Rachel.
I'm going to tell you what I told the bishop. We ain't going to testify.
Well, listen, I'm not asking her to testify. I need to show her these photos. Find out if these are the boys she saw in the back of the truck that night.
Same team, seems to me.
No, listen. There might have been another truck on Creek Road that night. And if that's true, I might have been wrong about this the whole time. Will you just let me talk to her?
No.
Jacob, this isn't a trick.
Yeah, maybe. Bishop says how all this is causing trouble for you. Sorry, if that's so.
So then why won't you help me?
What's done is done. Better it be over and past as soon as possible.
Johnson, when we first talked to Teddy, he told us that they did throw it a buggy on Creek Road.
Got him so confused. But I read the statement he signed. He specifically said he didn't know
I'm
if they
not
were
going to be
on
able to
Creek Road at
introduce
all.
either of his statements at the trial. I promise you that anything he tells me will be privileged information.
Well, I'm not sure what that means.
He's
But the
confidential.
lawyer has forbidden us to talk to you or to anybody on your side. Lots of people come up to us in the store and they tell me how hard it must be going through all this and how, but for the grace of God, it might be their sons. You know what I say? When my father died, the Amish were the first ones to come over and offer to help out. If you'll excuse me, we're busy in the store.
That'll be $7.60.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye now. Hi.
Hi.
What can I help you with?
Oh, yes,
Sir?
I do think so.
In a hurry?
Just helping out. You look so busy.
Well, we like to take care of our own first.
And Jim and I aren't among the chosen.
There's lots of folks figure it that way now. You tell they're finding themselves a new lawyer. And not just in town. That big Chicago company trying to get the permits to build a new motel around here?
Jim's clients?
Was Jim's client. I guess they know how important goodwill is. You want me to fill her up?
Forget it.
Sadler.
Yes?
You know, not all of us think like Mr. Ames. Some of us think your husband's done right by bringing it all out.
Thank you.
But it sure would be nice to have some peace and quiet around here again.
I could understand when there was some doubt in your mind, but now...
You know, I'm still hoping to find that Drexel County kid and talk to him before the trial starts. And even if we don't, I'm 90% certain we've got the four who did it.
You give someone like Baxter a 10% reasonable doubt, he'll kick your butt all over the courtroom.
What are you saying, Home? You're saying I shouldn't prosecute?
I'm suggesting what you need is time. Time to locate that Drexel boy. Time to work on Jacob, though I don't hold out much hope for that. And what is wrong with asking for a postponement or a change of venue while you're at it? Let it blow off to Charlotte.
Wait, just let Fulham County off the hook?
Let you off the hook. Your private practice is hurting Jim real bad. And it ain't only the Chicago guy. It's the locals.
I might as well just put an ad in the paper, huh?
Yeah, you might as well. And as for your chances of being elected prosecutor, if you don't win this case, Jim, you're as good as dead. And maybe, even if you do.
Just one more and that's it?
Okay.
Tony Baloney's fibbing again. Look at him wiggle and try to pretend. Tony Baloney is telling a lie.
Tony Baloney, goodbye.
What's this?
One of the kids at school pushed me and I pushed them back.
Why?
They're having a discussion.
What about?
Dad.
Know the words I like best?
Mm-hmm.
Say 'em.
I love you.
Know the ones I hate the most?
No idea.
I hear tell.
What?
I hear tell you've been losing clients, including Chicago.
Where'd you tell that?
My friend Bill Ames. Many others?
Yeah, 4 this week.
Hmm.
Then the week's not over.
Davey's been getting into fights at school.
What about?
You?
Well, that's wrong. I'm sorry. I'll go talk to him.
Talk to me first.
What do you want me to say, Sue? I know you want to live here.
What about you? I didn't have to bring you here kicking and screaming. You
Look,
hated what you were doing.
What do
in
you want me to
Chicago.
do, huh? You want me to give up? Just, let the case go, let everybody feel good and forget what happened?
You're not going to forget. You've won.
Won what?
Everybody knows it's not the same as it used to be. If they go and do it again, you're going to go after them again.
Yeah, well, right now, I am only interested in this time.
And what is your chance of winning?
Not much.
But you'll go on, won't you? You'll isolate yourself. You'll let the town hate you instead of hating what they've done. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. And you won't even be around when it happens
That's
again.
not the point.
What is the point?
The point is, what will I do the next time? And there will be a next time. Do I let that case go? Where do you draw the line, Sue? Where do you draw the line? Mom. I'll go.
Who is it?
Ma'am, my name is Ann Johnson, and this is my son, Teddy. Teddy was one of the boys that night. We won't stay but a minute. Teddy just wanted to say something. I hope it's not inconvenient.
No, it's all right. Maybe the boy would like a piece of fruit.
Teddy's wanted to come over so many times so he could tell you himself how bad he feels.
Thank you. This is the first time I've ever done it. I didn't think...
Sarah, who is visiting?
Mrs. Johnson and his son.
We just came to visit you and Mrs. Schuler for a minute.
The boy wants us to know how bad he feels about what happened.
I was in the front seat, Mr. Schuler. I didn't do any throwing. Honest. I didn't mean to cause you any pain.
The Lord decides these things in his wisdom.
Yes, sir, he does. Excuse us, we gotta go, please, Mom. I'm sorry.
I guess you heard that the trial's coming up soon. 2 others, and then my boy. My lawyer says the county prosecutor's been after you to testify. Well, I just wanted you to see that Teddy's learned his lesson.
They had no call coming out here. Do they think we're fools? It's all right. It's all right. Oh, no. It's just that we won't take any more pestering. Not from nobody. I promise you that. Time for bed, Rachel.
Just a few minutes more, Papa.
This is what you said just a few minutes ago.
Good night.
Sleep well.
Do you remember the first time you spoke to me?
I suppose you were 4 or 5, and I said, "Get out of my way, you ugly little girl."
No. No, the first time you really, truly spoke to me.
At your sister's wedding.
Do you remember what you said?
Oh, I said a lot of things.
You said, "I'm going to marry you, Sarah."
So don't you go bundling with that Jake Schmidt no more. What is it that you want to tell me that you find so difficult to say?
I want us to have another child.
It's up to God.
Even God needs a little help sometime. Jacob.
Yes. Yes, but not yet.
But why not?
That night, I cannot forget. We are taught to keep ourselves to ourselves so that we may live the life we have chosen, hurting no one, taking nothing from them, but they do not let us.
You doubt the faith?
No, but I read the parable of Job over and over. Such a good man, so tested by God. I don't know if I would have his strength, his faith. Is it fair to bring new life into such a world?
How can we not? Isn't that the most wonderful purpose of life? Of two people being together? I want it to be with us the way it was always from the night we married. Every part of me, every part wants it. To be carrying a child, your child, says to me life goes on abundant. God gives as well as takes. I yearn for a child. And for your love. Please, love me.
Esther Schuler was just 7 months old. And she died on the night of August 31st of this year. Her death was the result of a skull fracture caused by a hard object striking her head immediately above the left ear. The object was thrown from the bed of a 1978 red pickup truck as it passed the Schuler buggy on Creek Road. The occupants of the bed of that truck, as we shall show, were Paul Cooper and Philip Carr, the defendants here today. Now, the accusation to be proven against them is not that they intentionally set out to kill Esther Schuler, but that her death was the direct result of their aiding and assisting in the reckless action that caused her death.
That's it, Mr. Prosecutor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Baxter.
My task is to represent a boy facing 8 years in prison on a charge to which he has pleaded not guilty. As you may have gathered, the prosecution has seen fit to change the charge at the 11th hour from reckless homicide to the vague catch-all aiding and assisting. You know why? Because they don't have the evidence, the eyewitnesses, to prove either charge. The real crime is that this case ever came to trial in the first place, because when these boys are acquitted, and I have no doubt that they will be, there will always be one or two people ready to whisper, "There go the boys, the ones who threw the rock." Ladies and gentlemen, whatever these boys have done or may not have done, surely that is punishment enough. More than enough.
Well, it's past 4 o'clock, and I'm going to adjourn today. But before you go home, I want to warn you not to discuss this trial with anybody. And that includes members of your own household. Have you got it? Being married as long as I have, you don't have to put this down, Catherine. I know how difficult it is to keep something from a wife or a husband. Well, this may be the only chance that you get to do that. And I want to make something clear for you to think about. The two defendants have chosen not to testify. In a criminal action, the defendant does not have to testify. And by his not testifying is in no way an admission of guilt. The defendant does not have to disprove anything. The prosecuting attorney has to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. If he doesn't, then it's your duty to find the defendant not guilty. Thank you.
Your Honor?
Mr. Baxter.
May we approach the bench?
Yes.
Mr. Sandler's amended charge reached us only last night. Now, I request this Mickey Mouse charge of aiding and assisting be dropped, and we go back to the original charge of reckless homicide, which requires that the state prove specifically, if it happened, and if it can, exactly which boy threw the projectile that caused the death.
Mr. Sandler.
Co-counsel's apparently unaware of the validity of the aiding and assisting statute in the state penal code.
Co-counsel is aware that you have no eyewitness testimony. Co-counsel is aware you're trying to railroad these boys.
You willing to have your boy testify?
Oh, so you can introduce more circumstantial hogwash.
Get hold of yourself, gentlemen. Court of law here. I want precedent to back up your request. And I want a lot of it from you on the validity of changing these charges. Mr. Bailiff, close the court, please.
All rise. This court will stand in recess until tomorrow morning at 9:30. God bless the state and this honorable court.
I need to have my six tonight if possible. Good, I'm very confident.
Bloody, but unbowed.
Homer, I know how much you want to help us. I only wish that he could hear you when you try to
Susan,
tell him.
I'm glad he doesn't hear me. Tell you, I've never admired anybody the way I admire Jim right now. You ought to be mighty proud. In all the years I was prosecuting, I could never do that. Never do that. I always thought it'd be better, no, easier, to forget about the attacks on the Amish. Just let it all be smoothed over. Don't look at the prejudice behind it. Just... I know this can't be easy for you, for either of you, but Susan, I'll tell you one thing. I wished I had his guts a time or two.
Tell Jim, nobody will think the less of him for just going through the motions.
I think you've got the wrong man. No, I know you do.
Not so. It's too bad.
What did you want?
Nothing much?
Listen, I feel like even the referee's kicking me in the head.
You want a few rounds?
Yeah? Hey, glad you're here. So what do you think?
Give
Jim!
me a hand with those precedents if you want.
Yeah, I want.
Excuse me, Jim. We got the kid with the red pickup truck from Drexel County. I think you better talk to him.
Okay, I'll call you later.
Good luck. Thank you for being such a good friend.
I don't know. Sounds like it could have done.
How you doing?
Are you the prosecuting attorney?
Uh-huh.
Are you gonna arrest me?
I'd like to go over your story with you first.
What's to tell? We were on the Creek Road in the pickup, and we threw at the buggy. Look, I'm sorry about the
Listen,
baby.
you realize you set yourself up for a jail term?
No. My daddy will get me out. He always does. Spread some money around. He's real good at that.
You and your dad get along okay, huh?
Yeah, sure. What difference does it
I just
make?
want to ask you a couple questions, okay, Warren? How many were in the truck?
4, but I'm not
Did you all
giving
throw
you
at the
any...
buggy?
Just the 2 outside, like it said in the paper.
In the paper? Where was the baby? In the back?
No, up front.
And where was the little girl?
What little girl?
The one who saw you, the one who wasn't in the papers, where was she? Huh? Warren, where was she? Was she in the front? Was she in the back? Where was she? Where was she, Warren? Where was she, Warren?
She was in back.
You sure?
No. No, she was in front. See, that's right.
No, Warren, that's wrong. You're lying to me, aren't you? Huh? You lying to me, Warren? Are you lying to me, Warren? Are you lying to me, Warren?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Look, you got stuff to work out with your father. This isn't the place to do it.
Do you know what time it is?
Look, I'm not asking you. I'm telling you, you have to testify, you and Rachel.
Jacob, I know we have the 4 who did it.
Seek retribution. Vengeance. This is what you tell me to do.
Look, if you don't testify, they're going to be found not guilty. People will forget, and the whole thing will start over again.
I cannot break with the old ways.
I'm not asking you to break. I'm asking you to bend a little.
And Rachel, she is already troubled. If I were to agree to do this, would it not make her doubt everything she's learned, everything she believes in? Go back upstairs. You shouldn't be down here like this. I will think about it. I come cannot say more. Now, please.
Okay.
Sorry if I woke you.
It's okay. How long you been down here?
I don't know. Want some cocoa?
Sure. What's bothering you? So I didn't know.
You don't know.
So, how do you think it's gonna look on the resume? He was right, but he couldn't prove it.
You don't think Jacob will change his mind?
You know, maybe I'm just stubborn. I know when I'm beat. I just don't know how to bow out gracefully.
It's one of the reasons I married you.
A lack of grace.
I want you to stay the stubborn SOB that I married. Stubborn enough to believe that what you do makes a difference. Because it does.
Even if it means not being able to stay here.
Life is a series of trade-offs. Except one, us. If we have to leave here because you're doing something that needs to be done, it probably isn't the place for us to be anyway.
When did you decide that?
Over a cup of cocoa? Remember what your father said when he married us? If your heart is right, your mind follows. I love your heart.
Welcome home. Wherever that's gonna be.
I like Iowa.
You were up and down all night?
Yeah, I had to think on what Mr. Sandler asked. It's not always easy to know what is right to do. It is not our world. We have to live in the word of the Lord. Whatever has done it will not bring Esther back.
It was them did it, Papa.
What?
Rachel saw pictures of two of the boys who were in the truck that night. The ones did the throwing.
Where?
In the paper.
Maybe so.
I told Rachel I would ask you to listen to what she has to say.
School bus will be here.
Papa, sometimes I get so scared and angry about what happened. I know I shouldn't. Papa, you don't have to, but I got to do what Mr. Sandler said. I got to tell what I saw. Forgive me, Papa. But I've been thinking on it and thinking on it for such a long time. Please let me. So what happened to Esther? I don't want it to happen to nobody else. Because of me.
School bus.
Yes, Pop.
Work to do.
All rise. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. The Honorable Court of Fulham County is now in session. The Honorable Judge Manning, Judge presiding. Be seated.
Did you hear anything from Jacob?
No.
I was hoping to get in touch with you.
I'm going to let the prosecution amend the charge of aiding and assisting Stan. You better have some strong evidence to back it up with. You ready?
Yes, Your Honor, if it pleases the court, I'd like to add one or two things to my opening statement.
I want to get this trial over with today.
I'll try to be brief.
And to the point.
So, somebody died. We can't divorce the deed from the history of harassment of the Amish, excused as high spirits, kids' pranks. Everybody does it. It's violence. And it's condoned against a group of people because they're different. Won't strike back. And for that, we all have to share the guilt.
Are you putting us all on trial, Jim?
Almost as disturbing as the baby's dying is the action afterwards. We've got people in this community who say, we've got to protect our own. We've got to protect the good name of our town. In a situation where at the very least, perhaps, it wasn't contempt that they showed by what they did, but it certainly was a heinous disregard for human life and a lack of concern or caring about the tolerance of people who are different. Now, let's look at the victims. The Amish. Those who were not tolerated have shown the most tolerance of all. If we had their tolerance, then this whole incident never would have happened in the first place. Now, the defendants. The defendants are just kids from our county. I mean, they're from around here. They shouldn't go to jail. They're not criminals. But if you say that, why lock anybody up?
Objection!
Now, no matter what happens here, no matter what the verdict, for the rest of my life, I'll be asking myself, does this crime mean that a human life just isn't worth what it used to be? And if that's so, well, that's the greatest crime of all. You see, there's a principle here. There's a very important principle. It's something a teacher of mine in law school once told us. He said, if there isn't justice for everyone in the community, then soon there will be no justice for anyone in the community.
Jim, are you through? Your Honor, I request that everything the prosecutor just said be stricken from the record as tendentious and improperly prejudicial to my client.
So ordered.
And that he start presenting some evidence, if he's got any.
in the court. Order! Order! Mr. Bailiff, shoot these people.
I don't believe it. I see it, but I don't believe it. How'd you do it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. They're coming in. They're coming in.
Mr. Schuler! Mr. Schuler! Get out of here!
Hi, Rachel.
Do you have to go in there now?
No, not right away. Thank you. I know the price you're paying. It was Rachel. She wanted it so.
She won't have to talk long, will she?
I'll do my best. Don't think I don't know the price you are paying.
We've been waiting on you, Jim.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Mr. Baxter.
once again the prosecution has staged 11th hour surprise. Introduction of new witnesses, bereaved family. Under the circumstances, I think that it is in the best interests of the defendants, indeed of all concerned, that we not go through the agony of a trial. It is the desire of the defendants to withdraw their plea of not guilty and to enter a plea of guilty to the charge as specified by the prosecutor of aiding and assisting in reckless homicide.
Any objections, Mr. Sandler?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Sentencing will be 10 days from today at 1:30 p.m. In view of this change of plea, service as juror will no longer be needed. I want to personally thank each of you for your attention. Bailiff, escort these fine folks back to jury. Mr. Bailiff, close court.
All rise. This honorable court of Fulham County now stands adjourned. God save the state of this honorable court.
What kind of sentence are you going to leave?
Well, I didn't think you stood a prayer in hell of getting them to come in here, let alone win it. But shows you how much I know. Way to go. Thanks.
Teddy Johnson and Roy Bowman also changed their pleas to guilty. All 4 defendants were fined and sentenced to from 3 to 5 years. All 4 sentences were suspended. The election for county prosecutor was held a few months later. Jim Sandler was nominated and won. As for the claping, there has not been an incident of claping reported in Fulham County since Jim Sandler brought the case of Esther Schuler to trial.